Good morning and welcome to, if you're joining us. I'm really happy that you're here. Obviously this stream takes a little while to get going, so I usually fill it in with some pleasantries from my life. The things that I've been involved in just recently, I found that some of the things that I've been doing remind me of the 25 years that we've been in existence. But they're not the same. We're doing different things in 2024, and we are ramping up somewhat, but we're certainly not the same company that we were for 25 years. Things are a little bit different. Hello, Lynn Molitor, good to see you. And Tammy, howdy. Now I know you were in Texas to begin with, so I got where your howdy comes from. Howdy. Up here, we don't say howdy at all. We usually say hello, actually, the actual long word hello, rather than hi. When we meet someone on the street, we often say either good morning or good afternoon. I mean, this area in BC is very friendly, and we have a lot of retirees in my particular area of Sydney. There is the majority of the retirees that are in the lower part of Vancouver Island live either here or in Oak Bay. So we have a lot of people my age now. It used to be, older people. Now it's my age. And we say hello to one another with, measured phrases, as though we were never hippies, never. Hello, Marty. Good morning. Good to see you. It looks like we've got quite a few viewers here already, but I'm going to just hang in for another little minute to see if there's any more that show up. Petra, you showed up. How lovely. Good to see you. I have some models here that I'm going to be showing, and they're going to be as a result of Dorothy's question, where are all those needle rolls coming from? Where are they all? Are they all in one pattern? And of course, I did answer, but I thought maybe today I would show you some of those needle rolls. And so we're going to have a few patterns that we're going to be sharing with you all. And hopefully Petra will put up a few links if you don't mind. I appreciate it. Meanwhile, Tedra's here from Phoenix, still hot, waiting for rain. Yeah, it certainly does. I feel for you. I know that it's going to come very soon. Your autumn is going to come. It's just not here yet. August can tend to be quite warm during the day, even here. I think we had a 27 Celsius day yesterday, which for Victoria is quite warm. And usually I would imagine that people in the more landlocked areas of BC will get from 30 to 35 easily. And I think that even Lisa has quite a bit warmer weather than we do down here. But I really noticed it. Petra, you just woke up. Don't worry about the links then. Don't even think about it, because I'm going to show people how to find these things. So not to worry. Don't get yourself all woken up. Go get yourself a coffee. Let's see, Kathy Bird, good morning from a very soggy Northern Virginia. Oh, you've had Debbie, and I assume that that is either a hurricane, depending on where it comes from, right? I always get them mixed up, but I think it's a hurricane. Oh my goodness, I bet it's really wet. I hope that you survive, excuse me, I hope you survive the storm, and also that there isn't any big flooding, because that can happen with so much rain at so much in such a short time. Linda Morrison had 5.5 inches of rain. There we go, tropical storm. Okay, thank you. I don't know what they're called. I don't get tropical storms here, but I have heard from Richard that he's had a number of thunderstorms coming through. When I was in Mazatlan last summer, I started experiencing these thunderstorms, and believe it or not, on the west coast where we are in the northern area, just around Vancouver and Seattle, you would imagine there's thunderstorms, but really, we rarely get thunderstorms and lightning. So for us, it's just rain rather than any kind of event. And Richard just loves, from his point of view, looking out over Mazatlan and over the ocean and seeing the lightning all across the ocean. He said it's just a spectacular looking thing. And of course, there's going to be at some point some flooding. But they're all used to it. Everyone's used to it. When I was there last year, apparently it was quite bad. And one of our friends there had to go through the streets in the old town. And she said she was up to her knees in water. She had to get home from a party or something. And she was wading through the streets. And she said it's very scary because, as you have told you before, they sometimes have open manholes. So yeah, you don't want to be caught out at a time like that. Kathy, I wish you all the best, the pounding, and you too, Linda Morrison. Let's see who else is here. Marty, she says, for the next 24 hours, we are getting the tail end of Debbie. Hard rains and winds. Oh, so lots of stitching. Yeah, sounds good. I look forward to your August cottage. Good morning, all from Atlanta. Hello, Jean. Good to see you. And Diane from very hot Killeen, Texas, 102 today. I take it you are not in the path of Tropical Storm Debbie. Aw, that's good. Well, you know, Marty, when we have blessings, we have to count them. So excellent point of view. You've changed the story around. You now get the water running downhill from where you are. It is good to be up on a mountain for that reason. And it's stormy in Philadelphia. Thank you, Margaret. It's good to see you too. And when I say see everyone, I don't see you actually, but I do see your names pop up and I always imagine you. I also hover over your pictures, and very often people will put their own pictures in the profile picture, which is nice when you do that, because I can visualize Margaret Hardy very nicely with her husband, it looks like, and just, you know, hover over those little pictures. Margaret Biggs Melanson, I'm sorry, but that is not you. I can recognize you if it was a person. It's been a while, she says, I was able to join you, since I've been able to join you all. She says, about 10 minutes ago, finished making a batch of bread and butter pickles. Wow. Yes, I agree. You're not getting very much of Debbie. I'm glad for you. And thanks for, you know, keeping us up to date, because I remember not seeing you for a while. So I'm really glad you dropped in. Thank you. Morning, Brenda Leflyer. Good to see you. And Ellen, hello. Oh, thank you. I love this top. It's one of my favorite summer colors. When I was a young girl, my mom and I, including me, and I think I was 12 at the time, we sewed up a dress and it was exactly this color. Every time I put this thing on, I remember my mom. Tammy says, southwestern Pennsylvania. We had some rain and wind in the early hours. Really need the rain, so good for you. A lot of the rain. Okay, I'm so glad, because if you get some rain, that's better than none. And yeah, Marty says, I'll take some fresh bread. I'll get some of that. So really good. I'm really glad that you're all here. Thank you so much for showing up. Doesn't look like Lisa's here today, but that's okay. She may be busy elsewhere. What I wanted to talk about briefly today, and I was kind of waiting for Dorothy to show some of these needle rolls. So I'm going to talk about that in a bit, because sometimes she's a few minutes late. I did take the time, you know, there's a sampler called Garden Wedding Sampler. I don't know if those of you who know this sampler, but I noticed that the fashion today with young people getting married is there's more bare skin, you know, instead of the long sleeves and you know, the neck-high Puritan kind of wedding dresses. Good God, no offense or anything, but that is a lot of skin that I've seen on some of these dresses that are sometimes on television. So I know not everybody does that, but if you're stitching the Garden Wedding Sampler, I have a little vignette in there that shows the bride and the groom with, I think, two people and a flower and a ring bearer. And so this little scene looks really nice, but the bride is just not wearing current fashion, I would think. So I did this, and I wonder, Petra, what do you think? Would this be a nice little free pattern for people to enjoy? You can kind of see the outlines because it was a faint printer. I have one of those eco printers, so the colors don't come out so quickly. And I put in a few, some little suggestions of the smile and the eyes. And as you can see, she's wearing a heart, what do you call that? Where the top is basically like a heart shape at the top. So, and she's got, you know, bare arms and shoulders, etc. So I was thinking this would be really fun as just a free pattern that maybe we can share with people. What do you think, Petra? Of course, she says. That's good. It's kind of a fun thing, and it's something that you could probably even use just by itself, or you could replace the couple in the garden sampler with this one if you so choose. Sweetheart neckline. Thank you, Deb Powers. You're obviously up on fashion more than I was. Thank you. Oh, that's so good. And Brenda says, sweetheart neckline. Thank you, Brenda, also. Gosh, why do those terms just don't stick with me. I guess because I'm not wearing them. Otherwise, I probably would remember. Thank you very much, both of you. Also, Louise Fossa. Oh, you jumped right in. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, Lisa's here. Oh, sorry, I'm late, everyone. I thought you might be off doing other things, cleaning house today. Getting ready for a barbecue. Oh, right. You've got lots of family coming. Oh, how nice. Have a good week ahead, you too, Lisa. And I understand completely. I don't think you do a lot of this family entertaining. So this is going to be a big deal this weekend. So I'm wishing you all the best, and I hope you have a wonderful time. You deserve it. So does your family. Oh, good. Thank you so much. Okay. So I guess the other thing that I wanted to say was that we were talking, Petra and I were actually chit-chatting about the Bling Tree number 2. In other words, remember we had version 2 and we were planning it. And I was thinking, I said to Petra, we have very little time left to create this pattern for people. And one of the, oh, thank you very much, Petra. It's the Garden Wedding Sampler, much appreciated. There's a link in the chat group, just so you know. Anyway, we're talking about Bling Tree, and I said, I don't think that we have time to stitch another tree before redecorating it with other decorations. And of course, I have the model here, like this. And this is a beautiful version, but we don't have ACPACs for this anymore. And what we thought we'd do is actually make a kit so that you have the materials that I'm going to do for version number 2. Anyway, so I said to Petra, maybe we can not do all of we can't remove all of these things, but we can certainly remove some of them and then create an ACPAC. And she was all for it. So I was kind of hoping to see if people are really, like the thing that we really can't get anymore are these little lights here. We can't get those anymore, but I did find some other ones. And also, I'm not sure about the packages. We do have a number of sequins still, so we'll probably keep those. Anyway, so instead of restitching the entire thing again, we're going to make sure that you have a kit that has not only the things that I'm going to put on this one, but also some extras so that you can change your mind or change what I decided on, and that way you will get that kind of a kit. So the reason I'm discussing it with you guys is because we have so little time to do all of the things that we want to do. And I was wondering what you thought of that idea, not just for yourselves, but for other people who might want to do the Bling Tree. Yes. And it gets going. Okay. Bye-bye. So anyway, so that's my plan. And again, I'm not too sure how it's all going to turn out, but I do know one thing. The Bling Tree was one of our really all-time favorite trees to decorate. And I have seen so many different versions as well. But if I make a version this time of our Bling Tree that looks a little bit different, but not completely different, in other words, the tree stays the same, would you think that that would still be a viable new idea for yourselves? And some of you have already done the Bling Tree, so I'm kind of testing. This is kind of like an informal poll with all of the people here that I know very well, and you'll give me your honest opinion. In other words, I'm going to keep the same pattern, the exact same pattern, but change the decorations. What do you think of that? Because if I make a whole new tree, I'll tell you, it's going to take me a month to stitch it. At my age and with my hands the way they are now, that's why, I had to stop producing so much stitched stuff. And of course, there's Donna, but Donna's doing another design. So unless there's someone here who's willing to do stitching for us, that would be good, but it has to be fast because it's already August. And before we can order everything, we want to be sure that what we're planning works for everyone. So give me some idea what you think. I'm going to check your answers. as I go through. Now, I'm coming to the, what do you call it, the focus of today. Oh, Marty says it's a great idea. Okay, good. Thank you very much for that answer. And I know many of you are probably writing your answer right now, and the long answers are just as welcome as the short answers, trust me. Because my informal polls kind of guide me, especially now when, oh, it sounds like there's someone here. Excuse me.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you very much.
Thanks. That's good, thanks.
Of course he would have to come. It's the percolator, people, and I've been expecting this, so he would have to come immediately while we're talking. Sorry. Anyway, let's see. If the new embellishments are just as glittery and bright as the original, sounds like a good idea. Maybe just do a little background or scene around the tree. There's a thought. Really good idea. Thank you, Tedra. Would the verse be different from the first tree? No, that's the whole point. The surrounding would be the same, but the tree would, and the tree would be the same, but the decorations would be different. It's only a thought, okay? It doesn't mean that's what we're going to do. That's why I'm asking you if it's something that you think would be worth doing. Great idea. Would love to do the bling tree, says Margaret. Oh, good. And, you know, many people haven't been able to do the bling tree because they missed out on the accessory pack, and getting all that stuff together is really not that easy. So yes, small candy canes, brilliant. Love that idea, Kathy, thank you. Okay, would the verse be different? No, and that's the whole point. If I use this particular model, I'll have to take this apart. And in order for me to take this apart, I can undo some of the stitching, but not a lot. So if I use the same stitching, but I change only the decorations, not add new stitching, then I can do it. Otherwise, I have to start from scratch, which I can do, but I don't know if it'll be ready for Christmas, and that's the problem. So it's a really good idea for me to talk to you about these things, because if I don't, then I start going, oh, well, yeah, maybe people would like it, maybe people wouldn't. And at this stage of my life, I really want to be careful with how much stitching I do. So I really don't want to overstitch myself. But on the other hand, if you think that using the exact same pattern but different decorations might not be a product that either you would like or other people might like, let me know, because I'm really looking forward to either doing this or starting from scratch. Let's see. Okay, sounds good. It's a great idea. Good idea. How about, oh yeah. So far the idea sounds awesome. So, and most people have done the first tree, I think here. I would like a new design to be a companionship to the original tree. See, this is what I was interested in, is to find out whether you think. Yes, Kathy, I remember them. Yes, they're called bugle beads, I think. I'm not sure if you call them rondelles, but if that's what they're called, I'll have to make sure that I write that down so that so that I remember the word rondelles. Thank you. Yes, I do remember, and I remember vividly, actually. It was one of the things that I wanted to do. Instead of using the little lights, the ones that we can't get anymore, these lights, I would use those candles, or candle-like thing. Tedra says, I wasn't able to get the original tree, so would like to do one, but more of a scene around the tree. Snowy ground around, gifts under the tree, maybe a couple of people decorating the tree on either side. Just ideas. Thank you. That's good to know, because if this design is the way it is, and then we do a whole other tree, as I say, I may not be able to finish that in time for Christmas unless someone volunteers to stitch it for me, because I can do the design, but it needs a stitched piece on the front cover so people can actually see how the embellishments work. Yes, bugle beads, exactly, yes. Thank you, Ellen, thank you, Kathy. I thought I said that too. I agree with you. So that's my question this time, and thank you very much. My informal poll has given me some. I would say that you're saying it's a good idea, but it's not for you. And that's kind of what I'm getting. And if I'm wrong, in other words, as an overall view of what you're thinking, because some of you have said, yeah, great idea. but you haven't said I'd stitch that. And I think that would be, if you've already stitched this one once, you may not want to stitch it again the same way. That's kind of what I'm getting. Have I got that right? You would like another tree, which, by the way, I have an idea for another tree, and it's going to be awesome. But as you say, it could have a different surround. So I'm so glad I asked you. This is not the kind of thing that I can like think up for myself. I can wish for it, but on the other hand, I want to be sure that what I do decide on will be in consultation, not just with my staff, Petra and Lisa, and I shouldn't really call them my staff, my partners in crime. And I have talked to them about it, and I would love to be able to do it, but it's the time factor. And you may not realize this, but generally speaking, by the time I had if we were going to make a kit for Christmas, which would have to be starting to be sold around November, what I would probably have done is I would have had the design finished by June. And that's the issue. It's August right now, so I'm not sure that I can actually do another design. And if I can't, I can't. That's all. We'll have to think of something else. That's great. Exactly, says Tedra. The same tree is fine, just a different surround, as you say. Awesome. Really good to know. And the reason it's good to know, as you can tell, I just don't know everything. Nobody can know everything. Marty says, I have not done the original tree, but I plan to do so, and a new companionship would give more incentive to do both. Thank you. And it sounds like a new one is more to the point. Working on the original bling tree now, a new one sounds interesting. Okay. So not the same one, but a new one. Now, don't forget, you are I'm going to say my friends from some time. In other words, many of you have probably already done the bling tree, or right now, some people are doing it. However, there is a whole new group of people, I'll call them just a whole new group of people that are coming, that are younger people. And I'm not saying that everyone is younger, they're just new. And so the cool idea is to give those an opportunity to get this one. Right? This may not be for you, but this original one, but with different decorations. So that's just a whole new product. That might not be interesting to you. We may just do that this year, but the companion one sounds like it's going to take a little time. So I may not be able to manage that for this year. Working on the original, the new one sounds interesting. That was the last one. Good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to get to, even though I thought Dorothy might be here, because she's the one who proposed the question. We were talking, what's her name? Let's see. I have the name of the lady who did this. I thought I had written it down. Nope, I have not. Anyway, she showed this picture. And she calls it her summer candy party, which I think is really adorable. And I know it was Dorothy who said, what's this top one? And the top one is actually the lilac chatelaine, which she created in completely different colors. As you can see, she's used pinks in there, roses with the same color greens. But this was the original one, and it's called Lilac Chatelaine. So you can see that the shape of the stitching is very identical. Let's see if I can do this correctly. There we go. There. You can see the Bargello at the top, and then the lilac shapes, but the colors in this Hardanger at the bottom, she's changed to a little bit of pink in there. It looks adorable. I love it. And this is the pattern. So in other words, you can get a pattern that includes the needle roll, no problem. They don't usually come by themselves. In other words, just a whole bunch of needle rolls in one pattern. What would be fun is if I did another pattern and put only needle rolls in there. So if this is the idea, then you can see that this one is, I think it's from the Friendship Tree. No, it's not. It's called Friendship Sampler. I apologize. So this is this one, and by the way, those were the only ones I could find, because I don't have every single, let's see if I can put this here. I don't have every single needle roll as a model here, but the Friendship Sampler, it looks like this, and as you can see, there is a needle roll again. At one point, I did a needle roll for many of my patterns, and how you can find them all is you go to our website, you click on catalog, and if you're if you're on a desktop or on a laptop, a menu item will appear on the left-hand side, and there you will click on, I think it's called Smalls, in under Form. So in other words, Catalog, Form, Smalls. And then you will find most of the patterns that have needle rolls in them, so you can find them. It's not so easy to find which patterns have them. And finally, there's another two. This one was a pansy sampler. Sorry, this is the pansy sampler right here. And that's this one, which is really cute and has, again, a lot of smalls in it. And then this bottom one here is called the Lavender Hearts sampler. And there is a Lavender Heart sampler. So for those of you who were also interested in all of these needle rolls, believe it or not, I did quite a few of these, and I'm going to show them to you little by little. Now, this is going to be a little bit challenging for Petra to keep up with. So if you don't make it, Petra, do not worry. Okay. So one of them is called Thoughts of You, and we have that model right here. Thoughts of You is absolutely stunning when you see it in real life. The colors in it are just so soft and so pretty, and it's done on antique white. You can make the needle roll a little less skinny, and that way you see more of the pattern, which is all the way around except for the back. Almost all the needle rolls have a section at the back that is not stitched. So that's how they look. Okay, and that one was called Thoughts of You. Okay, thank you, Petra. You're keeping up. Awesome. This one is called Blue Carnations. And Blue Carnations has the same in the back as you saw before. Blue Carnations actually looks absolutely gorgeous again. And I'm not sure whether you can see these correctly or not, because I have to actually, yes, show them up really close. And then you can fill in the camera so that it will focus on the stitching rather than on the background, which is me. So Blue Carnations is just beautiful colors, beautiful colors. I love them because they all match, but they don't exactly match, which is one of my favorites. Yes, good job, Petra. This is another one. This is another needle roll, and it's from the Heirloom Christmas. And the Heirloom Christmas also had a needle roll, I believe, in the pattern, or it was a free pattern. And I'm actually not sure, but this was one from the Heirloom Christmas. And we call it the Sing the Joy of Christmas. And I think what we did was we took a little portion with the birds out of the sampler itself and made a needle roll out of it. I love, love, love the needle rolls too. Thank you, Margaret Andrews. I'm glad you're here. We were actually exploring this pattern, so when you have a moment, have a look inside the replay and you can check those out. Thank you, Petra, the Heirloom Christmas sampler. There's a story, Margaret, but the story isn't actually too interesting that I know of, but I will probably do a little bit of a deep dive in why it's called a needle roll. I believe that a needle roll itself, this one, by the way, is called Close at Heart, so that when Petra is looking for these, she can look at this as well. Close at Heart is from a little sampler, and we just made it into a needle roll. So I will check and see where needle rolls came from. But back in the 90s, I believe, someone started to make small needle rolls and to make them so that they were like pin cushions. It was a way to display, just like a biscornu is a way to display a small section of needlework so that you're not making a sampler to hang on the wall. That's all I know about it. As far as history goes, not too sure. So this is called Close at Heart, and it's the lavender version, not the rose version. Okay, good. And then there's one more here. I've got two more. This one is called Memories, Heirloom Memories Sampler. And it says Forever in My Heart on it. And I believe that's showing on the front cover of this pattern. I didn't manage to get all the front covers. The really nice thing is that you can see that the top, for instance, has not everything is the same, but we use the same parts of the Heirloom Memory Sampler. Let's see if it focuses in now. There we go. Yes, really pretty. And finally, it's only one representative, but it is the birthday needle rolls. I don't know if you know those. We used to, we'd make them into a sampler, and then we also made them into a needle roll. So they're the birthday needle rolls. I think we have a collection on our website for Petra, so she doesn't have to do them all. But the birthday needle rolls are just the right size to make into needle rolls, but they also make a really pretty framed piece. But that was the last needle rolls that I did. Okay, this one, I think this one is for Lindsay, and it's for March. But all of them are done as needle rolls as well. Oh, thank you, Petra. You did them all. Thanks very much. We're going to have to, when Lisa gets back, we're going to have to teach her how to do this as well, because it's not fair that you should be doing all of it. But anyway, finally, what I ended up wanting to show you, thank you, Liz. It is Cross Stitch Day, huh? That's great. I wanted to show you also the very tiny needle rolls I ended up making, and they remind me of Christmas crackers, so that's what I called them. They are adorable as well. They've got a lot of 1/1 in them, but they're small little samplers. The sampler has to be fairly squared off, about like that, and these four make beautiful little needle rolls as well. Making a needle roll is pretty simple, and what you end up having to learn how to do is do a little bit of hem stitching at the top. And if you know how to do the hem stitching, you can finish these needle rolls no problem. Petra does a wonderful job, exactly. She's marvelous. Thank you, Petra. I'm very appreciative of you putting in those links. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh gosh, and then finally we have our angel card. Thank you so much for my informal poll answers. It really has answered some things for me from my fans, and I have to say, from the Victoria Sampler fans, I should say, because it gives me an insight into your thought process when it comes to choosing patterns. And I do think that, you know, I understand completely where you're coming from. Personally, doing the same thing twice is difficult for me, which is why I design, so I can make something new. But with regard to timing, I'm not sure how we're going to manage that. So we're going to find out, and you know, I will consult with Petra and Lisa, and we'll see what we come up with for this Christmas. So Margaret says, oh, I've made a couple of them. They are absolutely the cutest. Thank you. They are cute. And what I really like is when I see them all together, like I just see them together like they are meant to be in a basket displayed, and they have, you can create them with different colors than I've chosen. The stitches on them really show up, and people can pick them up, and they're tactile. You know, they're not, as long as they've washed their hands, they're not, you know, on a frame on the wall, so you're not using up all your wall space for these. I absolutely love small samplers made into needle rolls, so I kind of hope that you kind of get the idea of where to find them in our website now. If you don't know where to find them when they're not birthday needle rolls, because you've got the link for those, thanks to Petra, the other way to get at them is to go to the catalog and then go to the form, because all of our designs come out as a form of some sort or another, and go to the form and then go to smalls, okay? Because smalls will cover the designs that, mostly the designs that also have needle rolls in them. I tuck them in at the ends of branches on my Christmas tree. Oh, that would be so pretty. Also, I don't know, your Christmas tree must be fairly big. I did all of mine in 28 count, so if you do them in 32 count, they might end up being a little bit smaller to fit into your tree, but those of you who have smaller trees like I do. But Margaret, what a wonderful idea. I could just see your tree with all these beautifully stitched needle rolls in them, honestly. And to me, they've always looked like crackers, even though, so you could make some of them in Christmas colors and put them in a big crystal bowl, for instance, in the middle of your dining table, just as a decoration. Of course, nobody touches them with their turkey hands. Anyway, thank you, Petra. All the smalls, there they are, finished form, smalls, terrific. Margaret says she used 36 count. They're going to be very delicate and very cute. Oh gosh, I can hardly wait to see them. Will you take a picture of them for us and share it in the group this Christmas if you do it again? I'd love to see even one of them in amongst the tree branches. It would be so adorable because on 36 count, they're going to be maybe this size, perfect size. Okay, thank you. I'm so glad that you answered. Is there anyone else who wants to ask a question? Because I'm also here to ask. Thank you, Margaret. I look forward to it. You know, when your posts come in, I always look forward to seeing them. So if anybody has any other questions or any questions at all, feel free to ask now before I say goodbye, while I am actually showing you an angel card. It's coming, it's coming. I'm just trying not to look while I'm getting it. Okay. Oh, this is very heavy duty. Reclaim your power and regain your freedom. If this is for you, go for it. Reclaiming your power in the needlework world. What does that mean? Reclaiming your power to do what? I'm not sure. I know from my point of view, angels, reclaiming my power has much to do with, and regaining my freedom has much to do with whether I can stay in this apartment, because so far I only rented it for a year from this wonderful lady who may be coming back in April of next year, and as the months wear on, I'm kind of hoping I get to stay here. If she doesn't come back, how am I going to be able to stay here? And if I don't, well, anyway, that's going to be about reclaiming my power and regaining my freedom, I guess. If I don't get to stay here, I get to reclaim my moving power and gain my freedom from that worry. There are so many ways you can interpret that. It's quite the heavy-duty angel card. Thank you so much. So there's no other questions that I can see. Thanks so much for joining. I keep saying thank you because I'm just so grateful for all your answers. I can't tell you. It makes a big difference to me. And I am going to be working on the bling tree and seeing what we can do with our new pattern. I will talk to Petra and see if we can make this happen as a little free pattern. Maybe not this week, maybe not next week, but the week after. No problem. There's no rush. Those of you who are interested in having them, but I don't think that it's just you. I think that there may be people who will really appreciate having that as an option to put in their garden wedding sampler. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your Friday and enjoy your weekend. And I say goodbye to all of you and hope that when you are stitching this weekend, while the tropical storms go through your area, that you stay nice and dry and that you stay indoors with your air conditioning if it's too hot or too wet or do anything, because that's what stitching is for, is to cuddle up and enjoy being indoors, and or you stitch on the beach if you're in perfect weather like here. Okay, everyone. Free pattern with color chart, please. Liz, I'm surprised. That's really interesting. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, so this one, you're looking for this one with the color chart, not just the black and white. Deal. That's a good idea. Thanks very much, Marty, and saying goodbye to everyone as well. Have a wonderful weekend. See you next Friday.